And we're live, waiting for the room to fill up. Welcome to the Reelblack podcast. I'm Mike D, and we have a very special guest about to join us. But before we jump into all that, I want to give you some housekeeping. Oh, I forgot to put the link, the StreamYard link, into the body of the description, so I will do that now. Um, So we'll be taking calls as well when we get into our second half hour of the show. But welcome, Yafa, Yisrael, Gemini class conversations. We got about 6 people in the room. Last night we did okay. We had about 100 at our peak, maybe 110. But we were up against verses, so hopefully we're not up against any other rap battles this evening, but we're just waiting for the room to fill up. We started on time, which is unusual. So um, just give a thumbs up or a heads up. Let me know that you can hear us. Okay, Yafa Ya, Israel. And our PayPal and Cash App link is below. So I haven't been following the news this week, but we did our recommendations. Another channel update. We deleted, as I mentioned last night, we had deleted another 50 or so titles from the collection, just out of preservation of the channel. Like we have 1 million strong subscribers. We don't want to lose this as a place for people to congregate, right? So there's certain things that are just obvious red flags to copyright strike. So we're trying to eliminate those things. We might do one more round in the process of doing this, but for right now, the channel is pretty much reflects the flavor of what it's going to represent in our next incarnation. We're going to be doing a lot more live streams, a lot more interactions with you guys, and again, we want you to join in to this conversation about Black independent film. So with us today, a very good friend of mine, a compatriot, a compadre, as they say, in this struggle, in this fight, in this fun world that we have to promote Black film. I do it in Philadelphia. Kansi does it in New York, Harlem specifically, and she's got a big thing that she's going to share with us and talk to us about as we come in to the forum. Hey, gaming. I can't say the rest of your name, but with us tonight for the hour and a half or so, we're going to talk to Moikgantsi Kgama, who is the head of co-founder of Imagenation. And Imagenation, for those who don't know, is a film festival and screening series based in New York. They, along with Reelblack, were one of the founding partners in Array, which is Ava DuVernay's collective, which you can find stuff on Netflix, on YouTube, and with us right now, Kansi. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing good. Down here a little further south of where you are. How's it in New
Mm-hmm.
York tonight? It's a beautiful
It's
night
not
here
bad.
in
So it's a
Delaware.
beautiful night. The weather's good. We're just trying to figure out what to do since our governor has been accused of all kinds of sexual misconduct. So
Yeah,
we're okay.
yeah, I
I
understand.
think he's an effective governor, but he'll
Well,
be doing his
we
thing.
want more nights like this because you're going to be doing an outdoor screening series starting on August 13th. Is that not correct?
Absolutely. We have about a month's worth of outdoor events. We kick off August 13th with Red Pill. It's a New York premiere of Tanya Pinkin's new horror film. And then we also, the same night, we're going to have a screening of In the Heights. We'll be
Okay.
screening in St. Nicholas Park with Red Pill and at East River Plaza Mall with In the Heights. And then we keep going until September 10th with screenings in the streets, literally in the streets, with screenings at Marcus Garvey Park, which is now famous because of the Summer of Soul documentary, with screenings in the Bronx. And so we've been doing this. This is our 19th annual Imagination Outdoors Festival.
Wow, yeah, I remember we started around the same time. I started the Reelblack screening series in Philly in 2003, December 2003. So it sounds
Okay.
like our kids are about the same age, it sounds like.
Yes. Imagination Outdoors started in 2002. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what was the impetus of the series? And then before we get into the specific shows and different things that that you're going to be doing, the highlights.
The series started. I feel like there's all kinds of glare here. Should I just take? That's better. Woo.
Live
Like,
TV.
there's a lot going on. The series started when a friend of mine named Kahil Skimba approached and suggested we do screenings in the park. And so, it's something we kind of thought of. And we said, all right, let's try it. And so we did our first one with really kind of just no support. We just did it. And we got a great crowd. And we decided to continue. We started applying for funding. We partnered with Rooftop Films. And over the years, it's kind of grown. We partnered with Summer Stage. We partnered with Harlem Week. And so it's kind of taking on a life of its own. There have been some summers when I'm like, oh, I don't want to do 15 screenings. I don't want to do 10 screenings. I want to do 5. And it always ends up being 10 or 15. So,
Right.
But the reason we started doing it, besides the fact that Kahil, kind of approached us and said, let's do this, is because we really wanted to find a way to introduce independent films to people who might not feel comfortable going into the art house, who might not understand what the independent film concept is. And we wanted to do it in our community. And that is really what got us started. Just the opportunity to bring the film to the people instead of bringing the people to the films.
Right. And 2002, that was a pretty decent year, if I remember. I mean, that's sort of when I was doing the festival circuit, and I think the reason I wanted to do a screening series in Philly, or when I was approached, was because I saw so many great short films and first-time feature directors starting to make their way on the scene in 2002. Some of them are still out there doing their thing. Some have moved on to other stuff. But I mean, what can you tell us about that time period?
Well, we started Imagination in 1997.
Okay.
That's when we started. And someone's at my door.
Okay. All right.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
Do you want to take it? I will.
Yeah, hold on.
She's stepping away for a second.
To answer the
All
door.
right.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. She's stepping away for a second. Let's go through the things. Yeah, it's all in Harlem. I've got to mute her. We're all learning this together now, aren't we? No, so she started in 97. I started in 2003 with screenings, Black independent films in Philadelphia. Before that, Jeff Friday had a traveling series of American Black Film Festival monthly screenings that sort of inspired me, but that only lasted about 6 months in Philadelphia. And then so about a year later, after going to Doughboys Dozens in Los Angeles, I felt like Philadelphia needed something similar. So we went for a good 16 years. We did 16 seasons of Reelblack Presents in Philadelphia before we folded it up and moved over to YouTube. And she is back. You ready? Okay, let me split the screen and unmute you. How you doing?
I'm good. You just mentioned Doughboys Dozens. And,
yes.
Doughboys inspired us in New York as well to get started.
You were out in LA. Well, Eugene Doughboy Williams, he was an actor, and what he would do in Los Angeles, he would have a coffee shop or a theater. I forget the name of the theater that I first went to Doughboys at, and he literally set up a projector, 16 millimeter projector in the middle of the floor, and put bean bags all over the place and just invite people to come and share their work. It was like an open mic for filmmakers in Los Angeles. And I saw a lot. And at the time I was going to the American Film Institute in Los Angeles. I think I finally screened my film. I did screen my NYU short at Doughboys, The Hardest Part, which is on YouTube right now. You can watch it if you want to see.
Okay, it's called The Hardest Part?
The Hardest Part with Seth Gilliam and Ivana Kopach and Isaac Bright. Yeah, it's a good one. It holds up, believe it or not. We limited the slang. We didn't put a lot of, hey, like, what's up, and homeboy, no baggy clothes. No, yeah. It still works.
Okay. But yes,
But
I never attended his events, but in New York, I was trying to figure out what I could do to establish to kind of grow the audience among our peers for independent films. And I'd been told about this event, and I reached out, and we kind of went back and forth. And I decided, let me just start this thing in New York because we don't have anything like that. So I was inspired by what was happening in LA, even though I never got a chance to meet the
okay.
brother. You know.
Yeah, Eugene, he passed away tragically by suicide
Yeah.
in I want to say 96 or so, 97. So, he was an impetus for a lot of what we're seeing now.
He
It
was.
goes in waves, but he wasn't really there to see it come to its fruition. Ralph Scott's another person who influenced me in the early days in terms of wanting to do screening series with the black human B Herc. I forget what,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, but yeah, 97. What were you showing in 97? Do you remember or?
97, we were doing shorts, and I was in New York meeting all these emerging filmmakers. And so, we figured that there were all these filmmakers who had great short films. We wanted to create a space for them, create a community for them. And so we started out at this spot called Void. Void was like a bar that had coffee tables that had screens that faced up. So you could watch movies on the bar. And then they had one end of the room had a huge screen that filled that whole end of the room. And
Okay.
so we would just pack people in and we would show these films and people would watch them. And it was packed. People were sitting on the floor. People were just piled into
Yeah.
that space.
Yeah, we had a
And
similar.
yeah, and so we would we were young, so we didn't mind sitting on the floor. Can't do that today. And so we would have a Q&A. We'd have to invite the directors to come and have a discussion. We would have a poet or an artist open up because I was really into all aspects of art. We would have visual art on screen, and we would have a dance party at the end. And that was kind of my way of creating community around independent films. We were inviting the musicians and the poets in to kind of create a space for filmmakers, because I felt like there wasn't a community that was developed and ready to receive the filmmakers. But after doing Imagenation, we really built a really loyal audience, really strong, loyal audience in New York. And so that's where we started. And then we started to move to different venues. We ended up doing screenings at the Apollo. We ended up in South Africa, in Canada, at this place Nels. We ended up all over New York. And then and branching out obviously to other parts of the world. And then when 911 hit New York, that was a big blow to the whole downtown scene, because we were doing our events downtown. And we decided that it was time for us to focus on Harlem and focus on showing films in the Black community. And we started doing everything uptown. And in 2002 was the summer that we established a Brownstone Cinema. And so we partnered with some folks who had a brownstone who gave us their parlor floor, and we would have chicken wings and patties and sell drinks. We had like our little makeshift concessions area, and we would show films on the screen. We had folks like Malik Yoba come through with his films. We had just all kinds of indie filmmakers come from different parts of the country and show their films there. We showed films from South Africa, from everywhere. And we started the outdoor series that year to bring attention to the fact that we had this brownstone. So the idea was we would do an outdoor screening, maybe with some shorts. We would show the trailer for whatever was showing in the brownstone as a way to advertise and promote.
Right. And when you say we, it's you and Greg?
Yeah, me and my partner, Gregory Gates, partner in life, partner in business. And so, my husband. So I founded Imagenation, and he had a company called Eucalyptus Entertainment, and he would do poetry events. So he had poetry slams at the Apollo, and people would come from all over to compete in his slams. And eventually we kind of started to partner. Eventually, in the beginning, he would just provide me with poets. And say, hey, this person's great. Why don't you ask me to do your show? He gave me his mailing list when I first got started. And so eventually we decided to partner.
I need to work that angle. Like, I give somebody my mailing list. Anybody online need a mailing list?
Yeah,
I need a partner.
Right. Well,
Is that?
light interest. That's the way to get. That's the way to start.
That's probably true. I'm just teasing. Shout out to Greg. I know he's around there somewhere.
He's
Um,
here. My son's here. My son actually curated our kids' night out programs from age 5 till now.
yeah,
He's
let's get
curated.
into the program.
Okay.
So, I mean, what are you excited about? I mean, you got 15 nights of screenings. Opening night is Red Pill and In the Heights on
We've got
August 13th.
10. We take some breaks in between.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm excited about pretty much everything. I mean, it's great to have a premiere as an outdoor screening. That rarely happens. And I think, we were able to do that because of COVID, because the opportunities weren't, as people weren't as flexible and able to actually guarantee an audience, but we were able to do it outside. So Tanya was excited to work with us. And so we're having a New York City premiere of Red Pill. We're excited about that. She's going to do a Q&A with herself and her castmates outside, which is pretty awesome. You usually don't get that at an outdoor community festival. That's the kind of thing you only get at, one of the more industry-driven festivals. So I'm really happy to bring that experience to the community. It's also a pretty crazy movie. It's a take on, did you get to see it?
I can't wait to see it. I don't know if I got the link yet, but spoiler alert, Miss Pinkins is going to be on the show next Wednesday.
Yes.
So we'll have a chance to talk about her career and the film as well.
Okay, well, yeah, and so I'm excited to support her and show her really daring film that kind of looks at how we were all feeling leading up to the 2020 election. And so, standard Hollywood, horror fare. It's a horror movie. It's like, Freddy Krueger type horror movie, but it's got a twist. So we're excited to be able to support that film. I'm glad to get In the Heights. In the Heights is still in theaters, and we're getting the opportunity to bring it into El Barrio for free and show that film in the community. So we're very excited about that. I've got a great slate. And so we're also doing some interesting stuff. We're partnering with you. And doing an online sidebar of Cicely Tyson's works. One of our big partners is Harlem Week, and they are honoring Chadwick Boseman and Cicely Tyson. And so we're showing films that, of course, pay homage to their legacy. And so, we're doing this great sidebar with Reelblack TV that I'm excited about. And we're also showing some short films starring Chadwick Boseman that pretty much no one has seen, which is pretty cool. Him before he was Black Panther. So, we've got a lot happening, and I'm excited to be back in the parks, to be back in the community, large scale. Last year, we did some drive-in movies, which were very well received, and they were great, but, it wasn't at the volume that we normally do in the summer. So we're glad to be back in a big way and to be able to, to feature some new works and to show some compelling, important works. Like The Neutral Ground is a film that explores the whole issue of us taking down these monuments from the Confederate era and why we're still holding on to those monuments and what that means for present day society, that we're still in this fight. So that's a pretty good film that we'll be showing on August 30th at Marcus Garvey Park with Black Public Media. So there's a lot happening. And we're excited about it all.
Right. Now, some of these also, it's not just movies again. You have music as part of the event as well.
We have DJs. Yeah, we have DJs. We used to do a lot of live performances, but this year we weren't quite sure what we could do until the last minute. So we decided to just go with DJs. So we've got a couple of DJs. DJ Greg G. We've got DJ Ivan Soto, aka Big Ive, who does a lot of Latin music. He'll be with us in the Bronx and in East Harlem. And so there's a chance to just come out and have a good time and dance under the stars and watch a movie.
Fantastic. We have a question from Richard Copeland. He's wondering if you have done any events in London throughout your history.
No, I have not, but happy to come that way if you want to invite me. No, we haven't done London. We've done South Africa. So we did something in Kagiso, which is a town outside of Johannesburg. So we did do some screenings there. We've done Canada. We've done Baltimore. We've done LA. We've done quite a few places, but never London. Actually, right. I was invited out to the Civicus World Assembly in Scotland and presented films there. We've done a lot of places, but we haven't done the UK yet, and we'd be happy to come.
Well, you were global before it was global.
Yeah, we were, and we're trying to get there again. We were global without the money,
Okay.
which means we quickly became local again. But we always had that vision. Honestly, that's really what inspired Imagenation, is to be. I was, it's like inspired by, but the real basis of what we do is the work of Marcus Garvey. Honestly, I was inspired by Marcus Garvey, by the concept of us uniting people throughout the Pan-African world through media, and by the cultural exchange that we can experience through independent film. So I've always had this vision to be global. I just have not worked out, the monetary aspect of being global. But the great thing about what's happening right now in the world is that you can be global and stay right in your living room. And we've been able to do that as well. We did, what was the name of the film? Oh my gosh, The Debauchery Ball. I don't know. Have you heard of this
Okay.
film?
No, I'm
Out of
not familiar.
Chicago?
I've been out of the loop, so please educate me. Please
Well,
educate our audience.
it's a documentary on the Black BDSM scene in Chicago, on this party.
Oh, I think I have heard about this, but yeah.
So we did that film, and we showed the film online. We did a 2-week run, and to promote it and kind of celebrate, I guess, the concept, we had, because it's basically a house party. We had house DJs from literally all over the world. We partnered with Enjoy Entertainment. They helped us book DJs from as far as South Africa to Costa Rica. Like, we had DJs from all over. And it was just, a chance for us all to party together. And this was in the midst of COVID.
Wow.
So, this global concept is becoming, I think, a lot more possible. It is possible right now. We've been able to realize it in small ways and in bigger ways. Like, we have a series at the Apollo Theater that we do, and we've been able to bring in directors, to have them come online digitally and participate in discussions. And I'd say that's the thing that came out of COVID that actually was beneficial. I think we're now finally starting to grasp how we should be using the technology in front of us, and how it can be a unifying force for us.
Right. But it definitely slowed down the brick and mortar business for a while. I mean, do you see it coming back, or what was your take? I mean, what was happening with Imagination in the midst? Yeah. How did COVID affect you, and then what changes did you make in order to maintain?
First of all, when COVID hit, we were just beginning to build out a space that we had been holding on for years and raising money to open a cinema cafe. And so our initial response was that we're going to push through this. But not long after, it was revealed that COVID existed, New York City shut down, then they shut down construction, and we weren't able to move forward. And as a result, a whole bunch of other things, it was like a domino effect. Things happened, and then we just decided we weren't really comfortable opening a cinema cafe right now anyways. I think it's one thing to be in an AMC or a large venue, and they suffered greatly, but you're in a large venue, the ventilation isn't the same as when you're in a 60-seat cinema. The
Right.
issues aren't the same, and people, I think, will feel more comfortable going back into big theaters eventually. But the concept we had of this boutique space where you've got 60 people in a small venue was something that we had to step back from, because we realized that, folks aren't going to be comfortable. If you look at, I should have sent you some of the photos of our old screenings, because we were doing screenings in this space before we renovated. People were shoulder to shoulder, and folks would come in and love that experience because it was such an intimate experience. And then a lot of times the directors are there. Like, Ava came to our space in Harlem, and people sat shoulder to shoulder and talked to her on more than one occasion. So, that's a wonderful experience. But in this day and age, I think you have to have the investment in the ventilation systems, and you have to be able to space people out a little differently. So it caused us to pause. It caused us to put the brakes on something we've been working towards for a really long time. But it's okay. The first thing is that, things change. We had to kind of start really thinking about where the world is going anyways. We're going towards digital anyways. And so for us, it made us pause You know, in
Hmm.
a big way. The government said pause, and then we said, okay, it's time to pause. What I have found is that even after that happened, we did some fundraising, and people still were willing to fund us and still want to see it happen. So what we've decided is that we just have to reapproach it from the physical aspect. Like, what are the new mechanisms that we have to put in place to make sure people are safe? That's a priority. And then also, it made us pivot towards digital. That's when we released the debauchery ball. We did that 2-week run of debauchery ball during COVID. We partnered with folks in LA that we read about in Forbes, reached out to them and said, hey, we want you to create a platform for us. We want to start showing films digitally. And we moved into that space quickly. And that was great. I personally, am not as inspired by the digital space, but I think that if we can figure out how to monetize it, I can get inspired.
Right.
So,
Yeah, there's
and
there's
also,
an incessant need for content all of a sudden.
yeah, there is. But I also like the idea in the digital space of being able to bring these audiences together across the world. Being able to
Right.
create that international community. So we're really focused on kind of bringing forth a new approach that allows us to do that. And we're still continuing to do our live events and digital events. Our Apollo series went online. We've been online for all of 2021, and will be our programs with them will be online until 2022. At the same time, we've been able to do the outdoor events here in New York, and we're launching a series in Indianapolis that will start live. So, if anything, it's just caused us to become more versatile and to now when we think about screening, we can think, well, what type of space is it going to be in? Is it virtual? Is it physical? Can we do a hybrid? And so, I think that is something that is a big bonus. It gives us more options. But I feel like marketing wise, it's more difficult. It's more
Right.
difficult. There's so much to
Well, for
compete against
independent film,
online.
especially, yeah, because you don't have, like, I see you're showing The Wiz,
Hmm.
which is a perennial. That's one that you want to bring your kids out to and enjoy, and people can sing along. But
Yeah.
you have to have that intersection of familiarity and just to have audiences take a chance on things. I find it's a lot harder to program now than it was even 6 years ago, because Netflix and all the streaming services have taken over the
Yeah.
access to the independent film world.
And they get them right out of the festivals. There's no time. There's no moment in between. Like for our series at the Apollo, we're focusing on premieres, and I mean, in the last year, it got so much more difficult to really get our hands on those premieres before they've gone online. You know, but I still think there are a lot of filmmakers who don't get to that space who have quality works, and so I think there's still room for other vehicles. And most filmmakers didn't make their film to show online. They made their film to show it to people live. So most people
Right.
people still want that experience.
Absolutely. So, I mean, just leaning into that, I mean, what changes have you seen in the nature of Black independent film since you started in 1997? Like,
Mm,
is it better? Is it worse? Is it
it's
more?
better.
Is it less?
I mean, I think it's better. I mean, when I started in 97, I started because there was a dearth of places where you could see our work. I knew these filmmakers existed. I was talking to them, I was meeting them, and their works were not getting shown. So, and there weren't even like, grassroots vehicles like the ones that you and I have created. There was very little out there. So I would say that since I started, there are a whole lot more people in the game, which is wonderful, and there is the opportunity to see these works online, which is great. So and I think there's a lot more there are more avenues, and there's more desire from the industry to actually see our works and show our works. So I think it's better. I think there are a lot more opportunities for filmmakers.
Well, it's
um
infinite. It's an
yeah.
infinite amount of space now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, before really there was no place, and but now there are all these venues where you can see our works. Now, to me, what's different is we don't own them. We still don't own the venues. We still don't own the online vehicles. Like, if I get sick of hearing about Netflix and Amazon. I'm like, we don't own that.
Right.
You know, and so if you have any interest in, you know, in Black empowerment and in the economic machine behind the films, then in a sense, a lot hasn't changed in terms of infrastructure. It's changed for individual filmmakers, but when you look at who ultimately is benefiting from the works, you know, we don't own those
Yeah.
larger machines.
Yeah, and also you see that reflected in the type of work that gets financed. You know,
Yes.
the cycles of the trauma dramas and the sort of like what we get to see ultimately is a result of someone being able to impress someone white with an idea. Or, you
Right.
know, for 9 times out of 10, Macro might be a little bit different over
Right.
there. You know, over at Macro, who did Judas and the Black Messiah. You know, but
Yes.
for the most part, to get a movie on Netflix means that you've had to pitch it to or impress or sell it to someone white who is vetting and saying, oh yes, there's an audience for this, and determining the marketing budget or what
Mhm.
have you. So um, I agree that that needs to change, you know, for us to get better work,
Right.
ultimately get better work, or at least control, because it's still a game, and you get to play as long as you're making money for them. But what I haven't seen, I mean, it's few and far between. I mean, Ava's is maybe the anomaly where a black filmmaker has made a name for themselves where they're like a brand. I mean, Spike Lee was a brand.
Yeah.
Um, you know, where everybody was looking for it. Didn't really matter what it was. You can count on one hand filmmakers who can say open a film as a director, like Scorsese, Tarantino,
Hmm.
you know, maybe Spike Lee, you know, certainly Ava. Um, you know, in the space that she operates in, people are excited
Yeah.
about the next Ava joint. So, um, you know, that leads to, you know, just another shift. I mean, in terms of from '97 to now, what filmmakers did you guys help to promote that have made a name for themselves that we can recommend people who go see their work?
Shaka King, Judas and the
Ah,
Black Messiah. We
yes.
showed his shorts, you know, when he was very young. So seeing him develop as a filmmaker was very exciting for us. Rada Blank used to actually be part of who did 40-year-old version, was actually on the Imagination team, hosting shows and helping to produce events and teaching at our festivals. Um, Charles, what's his name? He did What's Up,
Oh, Charles.
Charles Stone. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
What? No, Chuck Stone. Chuck
Yeah.
Stone the third. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but all right. I didn't get
Charles. Yeah, Charles
yeah,
Stone.
yeah.
Charles Stone
Same,
the third. Chuck Stone.
same guy.
Well, he, you know, I need to know this. You know, his father was a big journalist for the Philadelphia Daily News for decades.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was Chuck Stone the second. Chuck Stone, and then Charles Stone the third. So
Okay. We showed his that Budweiser piece before it was a Budweiser
true.
commercial. When it
Yeah, I
was just
think that's
true.
still on the channel.
Yeah. Yeah, we showed that just when it was, you know, before it blew up into this phenomenon. Who's another one? Blitz, the ambassador.
Ambassador.
Yeah,
He's doing
we,
big
you know,
things now.
yeah, known Blitz for a long time. There's so many filmmakers who've come through the kind of Imagination family, and you know, I'm happy to see them all do well. There's a lot. I mean, in a way, in a sense, Ava. You and I worked with Ava before she was Ava. You
I
know,
gotta
I mean,
write that
Ava was
down.
always a phenomenal sister. She's always a phenomenon herself. But as a filmmaker, I don't think too many people knew her when we did.
In the life.
No, not that one. The first
Oh,
one through Array.
oh, I will follow.
Yeah, I will follow.
Yeah, I will
I will
follow.
follow.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought maybe she's got the short film too. She won't let anybody see. Friday, I forget what
I
it's
don't
called.
know that one. I know In the Life. I don't know the short.
I'll get it for you.
Okay. So
It's a good film. I'm, you know, I think she's saving it for the Criterion bonus feature or something. So
okay. Okay.
it's
Knowing
worth
Ava,
seeing.
she probably is. She's very strategic.
Yeah, but whenever, oh, I got my Criterion shirt on, by the way. So I'm for sale.
You funny.
I'm for sale. I'll work for
Hope you're getting
Criterion.
sponsor dollars for that.
Huh? I wish. No, I want. I want to work for them so I can get some residual income, like multiple revenue streams. It's hard running a business in New York, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard running a business, especially since a business that relies on brick and mortar. Yeah, a brick and mortar business is equally difficult, more difficult. Yeah, um, that's why it took us a while to get our cinema space and get the investment and everything in place. And as soon as we did, COVID hit. I was like, oh,
Wow.
that kind of hurt, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah. No, I bring that up because I think the reason why we were able to succeed for so long is our partnerships always involved getting venues for free and then splitting from $1. And
Yes.
I've seen other people in New York where that they have to pay a rental fee in advance, and they go 3 months, 6 months at the most before they run out of capital because it's very hard to predict who's going to see what. It's sort of a big up and down in terms of like attendance, at least in my experience. If you want
Well,
to program,
yeah, for us too, because I mean, you've been to our space,
hmm
and that venue, I was paying rent, and then my rent doubled, and it was the model was not movie ticket sales. The model was rentals, so we would rent the space out in order to sustain ourselves. But that got to be pretty difficult, especially when the rents doubled.
mm.
Yeah, it's hard.
And
And
then the
that
same. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that's one of the other things that kind of led me to kind of look at what was happening to us, and say let's approach this from a different angle. So
Right.
yeah, we're just kind of reapproaching the whole physical space concept. I still want to do it because it's still what inspires me, and I still think there's a great opportunity there. I'm really inspired by the Alamo Draft House model, and
hmm
I've always wanted to have a black version, and we'll get there. But I had
Well,
to really rethink how we get there.
they're going to make weed legal in New York. Partner with a dispensary, you'll get all the free space you need.
Good idea. Good idea.
If
I
if
was
if
thinking in
if
my
coffee
coffee
if
shop
coffee
that we could do
shops,
weed tea and
yeah, well, coffee is
edibles.
probably a little healthier, but you could have a Cheech and Chong marathon every fourth Friday or something.
Or we could just sell edibles.
There you go.
Yeah, don't have to disturb anybody with smoke. Just here, have a brownie.
It's unlimited funds. People will pay for that and
Mhm.
subsidize the movie going experience. So,
Yeah, but there's also just the real estate side of it. Like I don't want to be a tenant again. So
mm,
and I was on a panel once with folks who ran micro cinemas, and I was the only black person on the panel and the only one who didn't own her venue, own the physical space.
wow.
So for me, I thought, wow, it's a miracle I'm here, that I'm able to keep it going, um, but because of the brick and mortar costs. But at the end of the day, I just don't want to be in that position anymore. What it forced me to do is it forced me to become a rental house instead of a film house. And so, we're just trying to figure out a way to get into the ownership space when we do that. Ava was lucky because when she opened her space, she had the money to buy it, and that's how
hmm
she started. But that's really the best way, the best position to be in when you open an independent film venue. You really need to own it. So
Right, right. So, gone through most of these questions already, unfortunately. Where
are you,
exactly
are you
is
saying you're
the?
tired of talking to me? You want me to?
No, I love you to death. It's just, it's blame my lack of preparation. You know. Um, oh, here's a question. We can open up the floor actually. We'll take this question and then I'm gonna put the chat open. We'll open up for chat. We can, and it's ask me anything. Be respectful of our guests. So the question: What do you think of the deluge of superhero movies and the lack of black superhero roles?
That's interesting because we're actually showing a superhero movie outside. I'll be like all the politicians and just talk about my program instead of your question. No, I'm
Please do
kidding.
that. Well, Chadwick was the king
Yeah, he was.
of this lack of roles. But okay, well,
He was. Well, I actually really did like the Marvel Captain America with Anthony Mackie. I thought that was a great approach. I don't know. Did you see it? Did you watch
on
it?
streaming on Max
Yeah.
or Disney
No,
Plus, whatever
it's on
one.
Disney Plus. Yeah. How
Disney
they?
Plus. No, no. But
Oh,
I heard good
yeah.
things about it.
It was really great. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Um, I think that at the end of the day, it's about the fact that we don't own these vehicles, we don't control these vehicles, and there are people writing black superheroes. But the question is, do they get to screen? Do they get
Right.
funding? So I mean, it's always to me, it's always the same answer. It's always about who controls the dollars and who can greenlight. Um, that's what it is at the end of the day, and it's also I'm one of those people gets a little annoyed with audiences too. It's like it's also incumbent on our audiences to kind of find these pieces and support them. There are independent films about black superheroes. um I'm drawing a blank right now, but there are
No,
several because they've come
no,
across my plate.
you're fine. I mean, but I think, also there is a deluge of superhero movies, but that's because they're proven product. It's sort of
Yeah,
it's a genre in and of itself, and people want that ride when they go to the cinema. Unfortunately, it takes it the fact that studios will only finance what they think is going to be a grand slam leaves a lot of people and not able to get their first film, their second film, independent films made. I mean, now this has changed somewhat since streaming. You're seeing a lot of first time directors getting into the mix, but
and
the
then I
proof.
mean, who can
Yeah.
get into the mix? Those are big budget projects. So
Well,
you're relying on Hollywood then for your if we're talking about the deluge, it's really mostly Hollywood films, huge budgets. So you have to look elsewhere, and you have to be like people say Black Panther was the first black superhero, but there were other films prior to Black Panther.
mhm,
Marvel had a Blade anime series out that we're actually showing in the park. There are other things there. It's just, are we looking for them, and are we supporting the independent filmmakers? So
right. Any other questions? We'll keep the questions in the chat or in general. So let's talk about Chadwick. I mean, because when we were talking on the phone, you blew me away. I didn't realize that Chadwick had made some short films. I thought
oh
he
yeah.
did plays and went into features.
He
So,
did plays. But he also was a working actor and an actor who had friends who were directing. And so we have three short films that were made by a sister named Sophia Songhai, who went to school with Chadwick and actually lived with him. She lived in a house with him and several other artists, and together they made projects and worked on each other's projects. So Chadwick was in three of her films. And she actually has a fourth film that we're not showing, that we don't have access to yet, that Denai Guerrero was in, and
oh
Chadwick
wow,
together. So, he didn't come out of a vacuum. He came out of a community of artists. And this is kind of, in doing this tribute to him, we wanted to show the man before, Black Panther, the man before he became all of these, black superheroes, before he became Thurgood Marshall, before he became James Brown. One of the films we're showing, called Moses Pie, is a documentary on his work at the Schomburg Center, where he was teaching acting to kids in Harlem. He's always been he was a community minded person. And so this is one of our ways of kind of showing that and paying homage to that spirit in him. He not only played, um, race men on screen, but he was that guy, every day. And so Moses Pie is really a sweet short film that shows him interacting with the community. And then we have two other films where he's featured in as well.
lead actor or featured?
One of them he's featured. The one
Okay,
Ladylike, he's featured. I wouldn't say. I mean, it's a short film. There's three characters. He's one of them, but he's not the main
okay.
character. And then the other ones, he's the main character.
And these were done at Howard University.
They were done by Sophia, who went to Howard with him.
Ah,
The
okay.
Schomburg piece, they were in New York, I think, at that point. He was living in New York by then. And he was working at the Schomburg, and she was living in New York too.
Are these screening in the outdoor venue, or are they going to be online?
Moses Pie is going to be both online and outdoors. We're showing it on the 14th, which is a tribute to superheroes. And so we're showing the Blade film, and then we're showing Moses Pie outdoors. And then online, they'll all be available.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and what's the website for all this information?
Imagenation.us. We're still updating. Sorry. But it's imagenation.us. We'll have it all updated by Friday. You can find everything there by then.
Okay.
And the online part of the festival will be uploaded daily. Each day a new film goes up, and then at the end they'll all be there.
Fantastic. Have another question here. As a parent, how important is it for Black youth to see themselves in movies? How important is it to control the narrative of the Black characters?
I mean, I think it's critically important. It's that that's what inspires me as an exhibitor, is to make sure that we're showing us the diversity of who we are, and that we're expanding possibilities for ourselves. Sometimes people talk about this concept of negating racism through media, but to me, I'm more concerned about how racism impacts us. I'm really not that concerned with how other people see it. It's about how we see ourselves and what we strive to be. So, I was inspired to do this kind of work from as a small child. It sounds ridiculous, but I remember I was like 4 years old, and I drew a picture of a white family, and I showed it to, I don't know why I did this. I showed it to my dad, and he was just like, who are these people? He's like, and who's that guy? He doesn't look anything like me. He's like, why did you draw this? And I didn't know why. And it occurred to me that even though I grew up in a pretty Afrocentric home, my father's South African, my mom, part of the movement, had the big afro. I grew up, everything was Black around me in my house. But when I turned on the TV screen and when I went outside, I didn't see myself reflected. And I think it will never stop being important for our children to see themselves, or to at least know that's an option, and for those images to be part of what informs our development. So I don't think it'll ever stop being.
So how has it changed, or do you think it's changed in terms of?
I think it's changed because I think we're included more. It's like when we were growing up, there were like the Jackson 5 cartoons. There were cartoons that were like for us, right? So we saw ourselves in those spaces. But now I feel like we're included more places. There might be 1 or 2 Black characters everywhere, as opposed to us having to go to the Black cartoon. And it's gotten a little more difficult, I think, for Black parents to, one, find the content that's specifically for us, but also to make our kids understand the importance of seeing themselves on screen, because they already kind of see themselves. They don't. I don't think they
take
really
it for granted.
Yeah, they take it for granted. Like my son does. My son is a curator for our festival. He's been doing it since he's 5. His job was to curate Kids Night Out, and now he likes to ask questions like, "Well, why do they have to be Black? I want to show a Marvel movie." That's a conversation we have to keep having with him. Like, you take it for granted because you've always been exposed to it. But not all kids have grown up in your household. And it is important for you to constantly reinforce who you are,
Deep. I feel like that. I don't have any other words than what you just said. So just take what you said and just put it in my mouth. I agree with you completely.
Wow, I did a good job because you're formidable.
Oh, you used multiple syllables on that word. I'm formidable.
You're formidable, brother.
I'm formidable. I guess this is a question. Are there any documentaries being showcased other than the Chadwick Boseman in the series this year?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. There is The Neutral Ground is a documentary. The Neutral Ground is about the New Orleans effort to take down all those the Confederate statues. There is a film called System K, which I really love. And it is about street artists in Kinshasa. It's absolutely stunning. And it's about the effort of that artist community to thrive and to kind of create a place for themselves in society in Kinshasa, which is in the Congo. Let me see. Do I have any more documentaries? It's a shame. It's not like it doesn't. I'm not. Kiki. Kiki is a documentary that we're planning to show about the LGBTQ social scene in New York City. They say it's like the new version of Paris is Burning. It got a lot of acclaim when it came out in 2016. And let's see. I'm looking at my schedule because my brain is mush. Yeah, those are the documentaries.
Fantastic. How many films do you have to watch before you come up with a schedule? Or how do you find your films? Maybe that's a better question.
I mean, honestly, it's not like that's not how I curate the summer festival. I usually just think about, okay, what have I seen in the year that I would love for a broader audience to have access to? What do I think people are going to be excited to come outside for? You know, and also I try to always have a film that represents continental Africans, the Latino part of our diaspora, and then of course the African American films are going to happen, because a big part of my mission is to always have a Pan-African program. So I make some effort to make sure that there's at least one Latino film and one African film. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we're winding it down.
And now I also try to include LGBTQ films, at least one.
We're talking about Cicely Tyson as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm formidable. Go ahead.
Well, you know,
no, you reached out. Well, just to clarify why I'm so formidable. Kansi and I, we're partnering. Reelblack is partnering with the screening series to do an online festival in tribute to Cicely Tyson. So we're going to be showcasing some of the films that are on the channel along in this thing. How's this supposed to work, by the way? Because the movies are already there. How do we interact or create an interactive experience around these films? Carib Gold, The River Niger, Just an Old Sweet Song, Mourning for Jimmy, and No Hiding Place.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily interactive. I mean, you're going to go and you're going to watch and enjoy the films.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way we're doing it is each day we put up a new film. We're going to have the schedule up, and each day we put up a new film. And so they're just going to link through to your page and watch the films.
Okay.
It's a matter of exposing folks to films that they haven't seen in a while or haven't seen at all.
Never knew existed. Yeah. Carib Gold is Cicely Tyson's very first film as an actor with Ethel Waters. Yeah. So
and it's always great to be able to partner with you, Mike, because you got like encyclopedic knowledge of film. So I'm like, okay, if I want to do something on anything really cool and historic, I know that you're the guy to call. So.
I appreciate that. Any other questions? Somebody saying there's a time lag. There's not a time lag. I just thought we're winding it down. We're going to finish at 10 o'clock tonight. So.
Oh, you cut me short. What's up?
What?
I thought we had an hour and a half.
We can go longer if people want to jump in. We can do an Ask Me Anything.
Oh, your crowd doesn't like me. They're like not talking. They're like, go home, lady. No,
well, I don't know. I mean, it's just fewer on the live than normal. And
an hour is perfect. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, we can go. I mean, if people want to jump in, we can open the floor up to any question. We don't have to talk about film. Just be respectful of the guest and you know our level of expertise. But is that cool? We have somebody from Botswana.
Cool. I mean, I may not have an answer, right? But we can always check.
But we'd love to see somebody's face from Botswana. Furious. Why don't you jump on?
Somebody from Botswana?
Yeah. Okay. And Richard Copeland, he's in England. So I don't even know what time it is in England.
Shout out to Botswana. Dume lang, okay.
Whatever she just said.
I said, hi, how are you?
Okay.
My name is actually Tswana, the language they speak in Botswana. Okay. My father's South African. He's a Tswana, so you know.
Oh, so that's why Fierce is. So when the red light isn't on, I'm not sure, Fierce. You need to jump in and ask a question. Here's the StreamYard link. Just click the link and have your phone ready. What else is going on in the world of film? Did you see anything? Yeah, last night we did a "What Are You Watching" segment. I mean, I plan to see some stuff at Black Star this week, 2:53 a.m. in jolly old England. Oh, we got a couple people in England, Richard and Joseph. So up late with us on Reelblack.
Wow. I see you're so formidable. People stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning to be down.
It's global. I don't know. I was gonna say something. Katang. Okay. got some Botswana stuff coming in here.
Okay,
Katang.
dang. Oh, okay.
Oh, I said it wrong. Is that what's wrong?
Yeah, he's just saying I'm fine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, here's the link. If anybody wants to jump in. Oh, Dap Dunlap is with us. All right, I'm gonna give him a second to set up. All right, you ready?
I'm
Hey,
ready.
Dap. Hey,
Hey
Dap.
man, what's going on? What's going
What
on?
part? You got gloves on. What's you making sandwiches? What's going on?
No, I have a cleaning business. I'm out working, and I was,
Oh.
yeah, and I was out. I'm listening to the live. I've been a follower since, man, maybe 4 years. I think
Oh,
I
that's what's
found the
up.
channel, and yeah, it was funny. I asked you about posting because I couldn't find it. I know you could buy it online, but I had asked you about posting deep cover one time, and you was
Oh,
like,
now it's on
no.
Blu-ray. Yeah.
Yeah, you was like, nah, bro, you could
No,
easily get that. I mean, we ain't putting that up.
we
But
can
I
get it.
gotta
Ain't
He's
nothing
like, I'm
going
not a
up now.
bootlegger.
right. I see
We go.
I see the issues you were
You're up.
having.
Dap
Um
Dunlap is up now. We
yeah,
gotta we
yeah.
gotta we
So
gotta avoid this copyright thing. Is a mess. But anyway,
I got a
I'm
question.
grateful. Yes,
I
sir.
had this movie idea and
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with it. I have no film experience outside of watching movies. But I had this idea to
Okay, be
do
careful
this.
now. Be careful now. Only 50 people are watching now, but you're saying it to the world. So be careful how you broach your
Uh,
idea. Okay.
okay.
All right. Because
All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna film it on my phone,
okay.
and I'm going to use. I make music. I do production. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna use my brother as an actor,
Okay.
and I'm gonna film him. So the name of the title tentatively is called Movement, and it's
Love it.
gonna be about him making transactions through the city, but he's trying to like it. It's almost like a 25th hour type vibe, except he's trying to get out the game. He doesn't want to do it. And I really didn't want this to be the first thing, but it just came to me because I
How
really
long is
don't
it gonna
like,
be?
huh?
How long is the movie gonna be?
It's probably gonna be a short. It's probably gonna be like 40 minutes.
That's not a short.
That's not a short.
No. You're
So
gonna have a.
40 minutes,
I
that's not
tell.
considered a movie, is it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if Kansi feels
I
differently. It's
mean,
very
it's
difficult to program a 40-minute film anywhere. It's
Okay.
a short. A short is like a good short is like 10 minutes or less to me because you can
Okay.
put it in front of a feature film and it'll play. If it's not that great, um, you're it's fewer things to get wrong when you're doing a 5 or 10 minute piece.
Okay.
If it's your first piece and you're aiming for 40 minutes, I would say don't do it. But if you have to do it, make it a feature, make it 65 minutes or longer and
Oh,
call
okay.
it a
Okay.
feature film because then you can show it in more places. You can monetize it. A 40-minute movie is very difficult to make your money back on it.
Okay.
And it's very difficult to program because most festivals don't have slots for 40-minute films. They have slots for 10s and 5s and maybe a 20 at best, maybe 30 minutes at best. But
Okay.
then that's when you have Chadwick Boseman in your movie. You know,
Well,
not your brother. No
you
disrespect.
no, no doubt.
I
But
want to tell you about when are you
Hmm.
planning to do this? I work for an organization. I consult, and we have a cell phone filmmaking course,
I
and
live in
it's free, huh?
okay. No,
Yeah.
I thought you asked where I live at.
No. Uh-uh. I
Oh,
don't.
okay.
I don't think I asked that.
I'm
But
sorry.
so the next. I think I asked when are you going to do it? But the next
I'm
course
gonna
starts.
start filming next weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, we
Oh, you
won't
already
be.
wrote it. How long?
Listen,
How big is the
listen.
script?
This is a guerrilla joint. This is so. This I'm gonna tell you my concept. I'm gonna film and add the music, but the dialogue is gonna be through subtitle.
Okay.
Okay.
So what you're gonna get is you're gonna get music, my music in the background, and then when my brother is talking to someone, it's gonna come up on the screen and it's gonna say driver, and whoever he's talking with is gonna be like it's not gonna even have any characters like that.
Do you
Okay.
watch subtitled movies?
I watch all my movies on subtitles.
Okay.
So it's going to be small pockets of dialogue, and then like if he's in the car and he gets a phone call, it's going to be driver and then phone caller and what they're saying to each other. But you're going to have to read it.
All right,
I'm just trying. I'm on my quirky thing. Like I look at a lot of movies and everybody's doing the same thing. So
well,
it's like
if you don't get it done, if you're not that far along or whatever happens, we have a class that's free.
Okay.
And it's for people who are making films on their mobile phones. It's taught by an award-winning director. It's taught by Riley Wilson, who won American Black Film Festival a couple of years ago. So I don't know, email somebody and I'll send you the info so that you can take the class and maybe have some guidance through the process.
I would appreciate that.
And then you get to Riley teaches you one-on-one, and it's free.
Okay.
So I'm just saying it might be helpful to have a director who's, won an award, been in the process, guide you through this a bit.
Yeah.
I think that's useful. I mean, Moikgantsi, do you program a lot of 40-minute shorts?
No,
or?
40 minutes is nah.
Well, now the thing was, I wasn't trying to get it in any festivals. Like I said, I'm not a filmmaker. I was sitting at my computer making music, and this idea hit me in the head. And I know
my question was going to be, what's your goal? What do you want to do with this film?
I'm just going to put it on my YouTube channel. Like I make beat making videos on my YouTube channel, and I put music out.
Break it up into parts.
There you go.
Okay.
Break it up, like make it 10 minutes, and then tune in next week for the next 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But 40 bytes, and then when you've got it out like that, then put it back out as here's the whole chumpy.
Oh, do a DJ Vlad. Take an hour and a half video, give you 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and then drop the whole joint after 35 parts. I got you.
Do it that way, and then when it's done, get back to me, and I'd love to put it on the channel. Like after you premiered it, I'd love to like put a segment on and be like, okay, if you want to see the rest, go over to Dap's channel. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. I would really appreciate that. Like I said, I was just sitting at my computer, I'm making music, and the idea came, and it flowed in. So I was like, just let me jot some things down. I feel like it's the universe. I feel like we all get chances to, we all get downloads of great ideas, but we don't always act on them.
Absolutely.
So, and I think it could. I think ideas permeate throughout the universe. Where it came to you, you didn't do nothing with it. It popped to somebody else. They did it, and then when you like, I had that idea. You did, but that idea went somewhere else, and somebody acted on it, and then they made something from it. So, so that was my thing, like acting on these downloads I get. I call them downloads.
Yeah,
so when I get something like that,
you got to go.
Because I've had a lot of ideas in the past, and I felt like I seen it happen in the universe. I seen it happen in the world. So I was like, this one I'm gonna do. And then listen to the podcast tonight. I was like, let me throw my idea out here because I know y'all both in film and just kind of see what y'all say. But I would definitely like to email that individual to get some, to learn how to film on the phone and all of that. Just, anything to help me add on to, to doing this. And and just picking a brain. Because like I said, I'm not a filmmaker. I make beats, I do production. I got a group called Think Music. We put music out, and I do the production. My friend Jamal, he raps, and that's what I do. So
I love it. I mean, that's one of the things I was going to say earlier about the changes between now and then. Back then, when I was starting, you had to learn how to do every skill on the set in order to get a film made. It was true guerrilla filmmaking. You had to know how to do everything. Now there's so many people involved in it, and there's so much access to the technology that you can really focus on one thing. So tell a good story, and that could be your ticket to the next phase. But it sounds like you already got the beats already hooked up for the movie.
I have the music. Like I said, I'm gonna do the filming, and then in post-production, I'm going to add the dialogue in. I'm gonna run it through Adobe because that's what I have right now. I'm gonna run it through Adobe to do the opening title, ending title, add the dialogue in and all of that type stuff. Might maybe mess with some, some filters or whatever on certain scenes, things like that, and play with it. and then, but I'll take your idea and put it out in parts, and then after
Yeah.
I do that, drop it as a whole piece. But I think it'd be interesting. I told my dad about it. He was like, "What you gonna do next?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't even. This isn't even started. I don't know."
Well,
But yes,
no, I was gonna say. I mean, we've seen a lot of great work from a lot of great people over the years, and just do it, and that opens the next door. Just getting
yeah,
it done. But like keep it simple, and just focus on a little bit. So you don't have to kill yourself. Like, I didn't get it right. Just if you say I got to get this 10 minutes and then come back next weekend and do the next part.
okay,
But that would be my advice as a filmmaker. But
okay, thank you.
and then Kansi has got the class. Is it on imagination.us, the
No,
information?
it's through hcci.org. And well, when we send out the next registration information, just send me your email somehow, however you do this. And
Yeah, how can I see
will,
you my email? As a matter of fact,
well, my email is mpk, like Mary Peter King.
hold on once. Let me find a pen.
I'm typing it. I'm typing it.
Okay.
MPK
at imagenation.us. So if you just send me an email, I'll put you on the list.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
you can
Cool.
register, and then you just take the class.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
And
Definitely
it's
would love
cool
to do
because
that.
Riley, you get 12 weeks with him to make a film.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, before I go,
That's
I
the
just want to
universe.
say you guys are film buffs. Do you know where my name's from?
Dap Dunlap.
Yep.
Got me on that one.
nope.
School Days.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dap.
Vaughn Dap Dunlap. How did you get the name Dap? It's just the name.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, but my last name is Dunlap though.
Wait,
That's
so you
what's up.
gave yourself that name, or people call you that, or how'd you get that?
I'm a Spike fan. In School Days, it's probably my second favorite Spike movie. My first being Mo Better Blues. And when I watched School Days, my mom and my aunt took me to see it, and I was just that movie had me. It had me. And then and Lawrence's last name was Dunlap. My last name is Dunlap. So when I was looking for like what I'm gonna call myself as like a production name, I was like that Dunlap is perfect. So I just went with that. So yeah. But thank you for the input. Mike, I'm gonna go back and watch the replay to write down that email because you put it in the chat, correct?
It's on
Okay.
the screen. It's on the screen right now. So I'll leave it up until you get off and find a pen.
Okay, cool. I'll write that down real quick. I'm sorry I didn't have any questions, but I just wanted to throw my idea to you all.
Good luck. No.
And thank you. And Mike, I'll email you and keep you in touch with what I got going on. And
yeah, I want to see it.
And possibly send you like, what it looks like before it come out. Just like a preview of it.
I'm open to it. Just remind me, Dap. Just
okay.
remind me. Oh,
all right.
Auntie knew right away it was School Days. And,
yeah.
All right.
So thank you. I'm gonna head out, and I'll go back into the chat and enjoy the rest of y'all night. And congratulations on 1 million, Mike.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, and I know
you're welcome.
1,000,001. Thank you.
Yeah.
Didn't catch the brother's idea. Oh, Furious. If you want to try back on before we go, we can. We had Furious from I think he's in England. His picture wasn't showing up. But no, that's exciting. The training aspects as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a program that I consult with a nonprofit, and it's a program I came up with to kind of help develop their youth initiatives. So it used to be an after-school program for young kids, and when COVID hit, we went online, and the only people, well, not the only, but the majority of the people that participated were adults, and so we kept doing it. So we've done 2 cohorts during COVID, and we decided to keep it online because we would have been able to create more filmmakers. The kids would do like one project together, and once it went online, everyone was doing their individual films. So we're creating more filmmakers and giving more people opportunities. And then also because it's online, you don't have to be in Harlem folks from all over are participating. So
Oh,
it's kind of
that's the
cool.
best part. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
so
cool.
Fierce, just text back if you're going to try and jump on. We'll give it another couple minutes. If anybody has asked me anything, we're just hanging out right now with Kgama, who has the Imagination Film Festival, which starts on August 13th.
Yes, it's around the corner.
Are you excited? Are you
Yeah,
stressed?
I'm
Or
excited. It's just, it's been a crazy year in terms of pulling it together. So I'm a little behind, but I'm excited. And there's a lot of work to do. I don't have as much help as I usually would. So I'm just kind of like scrambling. It's kind of difficult when you can do a little bit of everything, because sometimes you end up doing all the stuff you shouldn't do that you should be outsourcing.
yeah,
So,
yeah, we're live streaming now. We're taking callers. Ask me anything. We're talking about Black film tonight. So, what other stuff are you watching? You said you watched the Captain America series. I'm way behind on stuff. What's good content to check out?
I'm probably way behind too. I feel like every time I like something, they take it off. I was so sad that Lovecraft Country is not coming back. I love that show.
Yeah, that's good. We got Kieran, but there's no camera there. Hopefully the camera will pop up. If not, we'll pop in. Do you mind like hearing a ghost voice, Kansi?
Me?
Yeah, the camera isn't on, but
No, I don't
I'm
mind.
gonna. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Hey, you're on. You're on with us.
Hello.
Hey, Kieran.
Hi. I'm actually at work. I'm not supposed to have my phone out.
Okay, no worries. We can hear
I
you.
just wanted to say congratulations on reaching 1 million. I actually been sharing y'all guys since I found y'all. I wanted to know with the event coming up, is it going to be live streamed?
No, it will not be live streamed, unfortunately. I mean, there's the online part where you can go online and watch the films, but the live events will not be live streamed.
Okay. Because I'm in Florida. I'm not in New York, so I was trying to figure out my information.
But there'll be a slate of movies every day added that you can watch online for free.
And
So
the link is description.
Imagenation.us is the website, and the schedule will be up by Friday.
Imagination. Okay. All right.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
That was good. People are asleep in the house. Okay, so Fierce doesn't want to come on. All right. Well, I mean, I feel like we covered it.
Okay. So when is Tanya coming?
Tanya's supposed to be on next Wednesday, the 11th.
Okay, great.
To chat about Red Pill, which is the film that opens the festival on the 13th.
Yes,
so,
Red Pill and In the Heights.
And that's going to be at St. Nicholas Park, St. Nicholas and 135th Street. Am I correct?
Yep. For Red Pill will be St. Nicholas and 135th Street. The discussion is before the film because we're outside and it's dark. So we're not going to stay late. So folks need to come on time to hear the discussion and the introduction from the director, Tanya Pinkins. And then over on the east side, we'll be showing In the Heights, and there'll be a DJ and salsa dancing. So we're starting off fun, and we're going to keep it that way all summer.
Fantastic. Somebody's saying Lovecraft was picked up by another network. I'm not sure. I don't know if I heard that. I don't know if I heard that news, but it'd be great if it is true.
It would be great. It would be great because I love that show as well as Underground. I'm like, dang, everything I like gets cut off, but discontinued.
Yeah, I'm watching Fatherhood right now with we got Kieran. Oh, I didn't kick Kieran out. Fierce is back. I'm not sure. This is going to be interesting because I don't see a picture and I don't see an icon, but let's see what happens with Fierce. You'll be our last caller. How's that? Furious, you have no signal. I'm going to wait. Yeah, his stream is choppy. All right. Well, we'll try it next time. We'll be back either next Tuesday, but definitely next Wednesday. Not sure if Charles is coming next Tuesday, Charles Woods, but we'll definitely be back on Wednesday with Tanya Pinkins. Okay. So,
well,
Moikgantsi, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. Oh, last question here. Have you watched Regina King's Watchman
Oh yeah, I
on
loved it.
HBO?
It's crazy. Loved Watchmen.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. We had a lot of people who saw it, watched our Tulsa documentary that's on the channel after that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but thanks for the love. We didn't get any Cash App today, but that's okay. Cash App goes to support Charles's book. And again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to partnering with you on many, 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 many more opportunities. So,
Same here. Same here. Thanks for having me, and I'll see you soon.
fantastic. Okay, so how'd you like that, folks? We just did, we had a full hour Moikgantsi Kgama from the Imagination Film Festival. If you're in New York, you want to go check them out at imagination.us. If you're interested in making films on your cell phone, mpk at imagination.us is Kansi's email address. Reach out to her for links on how to do the class. And we're going to take a few days off. We'll be back next week with another dope Reelblack podcast. And we'll also have something streaming. Yeah, I couldn't get you on, Furious. The sound was choppy again. But thanks again. We're going to end the broadcast now. And peace and blessings.